Hello, grade 11. This is the continuation of chapter 11, section 4, and we're talking about the Roman Empire. Now, last session, we reached to the point that Augustus, also known as Octavian, ruled Rome for almost 40 years. And after Augustus died, Tiberius, his adopted son, became the emperor. After Tiberius, 3 other emperors, still from Augustus's family, ruled Rome: Caligula, Claudius, and Nero. Tiberius and Claudius governed the empire effectively, and they were good emperors. On the other hand, Caligula and Nero, they proved to be cruel rulers. Caligula murdered many people and spent money recklessly. He appointed his favorite horse as a consul, and of course, this was one of the actions that were not accepted by the people. Therefore, the Praetorian guards murdered him and made Claudius the emperor. After Claudius's death, Nero came, but Nero was also a brutal emperor who killed many people. Among his victims, or the people that he killed, were his mother and his 2 wives. Nero committed suicide because the Senate sentenced him to death for treason. So Rome, even though it had its period of peace, but within the last 3 emperors, 2 of them were brutal and were taking the empire down. Now, after Nero died, the Roman Empire had had seen a lot of violence. Then, in 69 AD, a general called Vespasian became an emperor. Vespasian restored order, but he was a very harsh ruler, and he treated anyone who opposed the Roman rule or authority harshly. Vespasian crushed several uprisings that were trying to oppose his rule through the Roman Empire. Vespasian's son, Titus, commanded some troops to defeat the rebels. Vespasian, apart from being a harsh ruler, but he had some positive contributions. One of his best contributions was that he began the construction of the Colosseum. And as you all know, the Colosseum is the huge amphitheater that is located in central Rome, the half-circle theater, that is considered as one of the ancient Roman artifacts up until today. After Vespasian died, his son Titus and Domitian each governed Rome. While Titus was the emperor, 2 disasters struck the empire. In 79 AD, the volcano Mount Vesuvius erupted, destroying the city of Pompeii. And a year later, a great fire badly damaged Rome. But apart from these 2 natural disasters that the emperors did not have any hand in, both sons ruled during an era that was considered as the time of growth and prosperity. Now, after the sons ruled, there were a period where 5 good emperors came and ruled Rome. They were not related to Augustus or Vespasian. They were Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antoninus Pius, and Marcus Aurelius. They were known as the Good 5 Emperors, or the 5 Good Emperors. These 5 good emperors, why were they called good? Because they did not abuse their power, and they were considered the most capable rulers of Rome's history. The 5 emperors governed during a time of economic growth. The agriculture and trade flourished or expanded during this period. And this period with the 5 good emperors lasted from 96 AD to 180 AD. The 5 emperors also introduced programs to help the people of the empire. One of the programs was that Trajan made money available so that the poor children could receive education. Hadrian made Roman laws easier for ordinary citizens to understand. They did not have to be educated or intellectual. The 5 emperors also improved the Roman cities. They spent the tax money to build arches and monuments, to build bridges and roads, and to build harbors. They also built extensive aqueducts to bring water from the country to the city. The Emperor Trajan expanded the Roman Empire to its maximum size. The empire's borders extended to Britain in the northwest and Mesopotamia in the east. Trajan's successors believed that the empire had become too large to rule effectively. So they started withdrawing the Roman forces from regions they could not defend. Even though the empire was united, even though the empire was flourishing, but the empire was too large for even a couple of rulers to rule together. By the 100 ADs, the Roman Empire was one of the largest empires in history. It was almost as the size of the United States, which is about 3.5 million square miles. Now, the people who lived in the Roman Empire shared Roman identity, and they had a sense of unity amongst them all. Every free person within the empire was considered as a Roman citizen, and all citizens were treated equally under the Roman laws. And this was one of the best advancements or the best contributions that the Roman Empire had reached from its origin or from its beginning. Now, as for the economy, the agriculture remained the most important economic activity in the Roman Empire. Most people were farmers, and the farmers in northern Italy and in the provinces of Gaul and Spain, they grew grapes and olives to make wine and olive oil. They got grain from Britain, Sicily, and Egypt to supply Rome's people with food. The industry started to develop in the cities, not only agriculture. Potters, weavers, and jewelers produced pottery, cloth, and jewelry. Other artisans made glass, bronze, and brass. These goods were exported throughout the Mediterranean region. So trade started to flourish because of the imports and the exports. And by 100 AD, Rome started its own system of money that was used within the empire. And then the merchants started using the same money externally with Gaul, Greece, and Egypt, just like they did inside Rome. They also had a standard system of weighing and measurements. One advancement was that a network of paved roads extended throughout the empire, and the roads, of course, allowed the Romans to communicate and move easily from one province to the other, and it even allowed the armies to move throughout Rome for protection and security. The Roman Navy also was protecting the Mediterranean Sea and other waterways, and they eliminated the piracy that was at that time. As a result, the goods could be shipped safely to and from the Roman ports. Traders from all over the empire arrived in Rome's port cities. The traders sold luxury goods to the wealthy Romans. The Romans also imported raw materials and exported the goods that they had to outside countries. Trade made many Roman people wealthy, but the only one disadvantage that still remained uh, until the end of the Roman Empire was that they still had many enslaved people. Now, this is where we're going to stop. This is the end of the section. You need to go back, please, and you need to write down the contributions of the Roman emperors that we have discussed in this session, starting from Octavian up until we reached his son, and then the two harsh rulers, reaching the 5 good emperors and their contributions. And then you have to explain the advancements or the developments that happened in Rome economically and governmentally. This is the only way that you can easily study for the exam in a way where you have divided the lesson into sections. And if you have any questions, please let me know.